Alright, what's poppin', people of the internet? We're ditching the AI narration. I'll speak over this one because we do have a couple different things to get into. So, message of the day. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. And I hope you're feeling alive. But the main topic of today is sort of clearing up what I'm doing on this channel. And my goal is going to be to give you as much insight as possible without veering too far off tangent. So, the overall thesis of this operation is exploring human movement. One of my favorite references is, of course, Bruce Lee. Now, we don't have as much media content on him as most people would like, but he did create a lot. He did a lot. So I listened to all of his interviews, and this was about 3 years ago. I had a big tree in my backyard. It was pretty majestic. And that's where I started to learn how to sync up different parts of my body doing different tasks. And more so then, people really didn't understand what I was doing. But that didn't stop me from documenting the whole process, the journey. And I'm glad I did it because I do get to go back and look over it and see all the different things that I was doing, what I was up to. And I just get to see myself exploring, again, the art of human movement. And one of the big things Bruce Lee said was unless people end up with 4 arms and 3 legs, there is but one way of movement. So he didn't adopt any certain style or form. And the goal of doing that is just to stay completely free in your movement. You don't want any boundaries, any barriers, and you literally want to be as free as possible. Now, the medium and the avenues that people use to express the movement is what's different. Some people dance, some people do martial arts, some people skateboard. So there's different ways you can get these energies out. But my ultimate goal was to learn human movement and be able to apply it across any sport or any endeavor that really uses your body. So with that, I did start the journey of martial arts. And again, I was outside 3 years ago, had the big tree in the back. I hung a punching bag from it, and then I also hung up a hand swing that allowed me to spin and do flips off of it and stuff. So that was my main two sources of getting the energy out and learning as much as I possibly could. But I was renting it and somebody decided they wanted to buy it out. So, of course, I had to move. If we refer to that house, I'm going to specifically just say the house with the big tree. This one has little to no trees, and I had to put the whole gym in what I call the basement. So, my dojo really is a section under a raised house that is fully closed in. And over the 3 years, I've definitely had my fair share of different equipment, and I'm still working to improve the setup as I go. The Cobra bag I used to have that was attached to the ground is out of commission. The aqua bag that I had that was really helping with uppercuts, left hooks, stuff like that, out of commission. So when you do something like this, equipment breaking down is just part of the game, and you kind of got to keep it moving. You might sometimes have to call an audible and be creative and crafty and figure something out so you can keep using it. But overall, I've enjoyed that part of the process. I said in a few other videos, I have been playing soccer more lately, which that's just another medium that I really enjoy. That has been one of the most potent ways that I'm learning a lot of this. And then I just bring back that information to the martial arts, and you can feel it translate, especially if you have the perspective that you've been crafting for 3 years now, which is still early on in the journey. But they do say no better time than the present. So maybe me sharing this would help you get a little more active and start doing some of the things that you enjoy. So if that is the case, shout out to you for making changes because staying in your comfort zone is never really going to benefit you. You do have to do things that you don't want to do, and that is what Mike Tyson refers to as discipline. Doing something you hate like you love it. Sometimes you're going to have to do things you don't want to do. And even with things that you enjoy, sometimes you're not going to want to do it. And how you do those tasks in those moments kind of defines who you are. So be conscious of that and really just try to stay active. Even me, sometimes I fall off. I don't do as much as I could, as much as I should. But maximizing the time when you're there is very important. And even then, I could improve in that area too. So it's all about the constant growth. Kobe Bryant spoke a lot about this. Just putting the work in and over time, compounding the work that you've put in. And eventually you get to a point where you can be confident in what you've done and who you are because of it. So that's a couple things that we keep in mind over here. And overall, I've just been recording some of the stuff that I do. I don't share everything. There are some days I just want to be down here and not have to worry about a camera, a microphone, and just zen out. But there are some days where I feel like I want to create or at least archive what it is that I'm doing in the moment. Because it is easy for me to kind of move on to other tasks and forget about what I did back then or previously. So documenting this whole process on the internet is good for me. Even though sometimes it's a little cringe. And I agree, there are a lot of things that will definitely be viewed as cringe, especially when I'm learning it for the first time or I'm trying to figure something out. If y'all are watching me go through that process, of course it's going to be cringe because I don't know what I'm doing. And sometimes it's like you just kind of know you're supposed to do something, but you might not really know why. But ultimately, you're supposed to enjoy what it is that you're doing. It's not supposed to feel like somebody's forcing you to do everything you do in your life. You're supposed to have some sort of freedom, which is also why learning the movement in steps and stages like I've been doing, I think is the most beneficial because a lot of this stuff I'm building into the system as just a natural form of movement and then building off of those foundations. So at some point, I'm going to have a lot of these different sections that I've worked on for a long time. Is going to be natural instinct. I'm not going to have to think about it. And then with all the extra open consciousness and processing speed, I'm going to be able to acquire whatever new skills, whatever new things I want to learn and do. And I'll be able to be my best at it. So overall, we're just looking for constant growth, being as good as we possibly can in as many regards. And overall, it stimulates my mind, so it keeps me growing. I will say though, making content, even on the side, is not the easiest thing to do. There's a lot of different stages to even get content out. It's also why I really like the philosophy how you do anything is how you do everything. I'm a big believer in that because if you cut corners in certain stages of your life, you're going to cut corners in other areas. So it bleeds over. So overall, you do have to be mindful of pretty much everything you're doing, which is also why I made the account Ryan Neutron. I'm going to start scanning foods and kind of showing y'all what y'all are eating. There's a new app out called Neutron. This is not a sponsored video, branded by any means, but the app is powerful and I kind of want to share it with people, let them know what it is that they're eating because a lot of us would do better if we knew better. So I'm going to help you in that regard. But overall, it's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I hope this made this a little bit clearer because it is easy to judge. I get it. I don't blame you. But overall, we're doing something positive. So if you support the movement, I appreciate it. And of course, leave in the comments what you would like to talk about, discuss, hear about, or if you have any personal experience you would like to share. I would definitely like to see y'all perspective on things and we go from there. So I'll catch y'all in the next one. I hope you enjoy. Peace.